Hi guys. I just got out of a very long, relaxing bath. I was working really hard and I'd been up since, that's why my hair is wet and I look kind of meh. I'd been working really hard. My cats woke me up at 3 a.m. and I just woke up in a way where I couldn't go back to bed. So I've been up since 3 a.m. and I've been editing a little YouTube the entire day, and I just took a really long, relaxing bath. And this video is all about assuring you that I listen to your comments and I value your comments and I appreciate your comments and I do my best to learn from your comments. So I'm going to tell you that I'm going to read a comment right now. It says, I'm crapping, oop, that's not right. I'm cracking up at your reaction to ASMR. This was a couple videos ago because I was talking about ASMR and I was like, it's really new to me, so it's like pretty, like, I was like, I like ASMR, but it's super weird. But this person said, I'm cracking up at your reaction to ASMR. You look super uncomfortable admitting that you like it. It's okay, though. It's okay to like things. And then somebody else said something similar. They were like, ASMR isn't something to be embarrassed about. And so since this video is all about like calling myself out and owning up to your comments, I'll tell you that I just got out of a long, relaxing bath where I had like lots of bath salts and like massage oil, and I listened to some ASMR videos, and I almost fell asleep in the bathtub, which is dangerous. Don't do that. But I learned that you can't get too relaxed in a bathtub when you're in a bathtub. But yeah, so I can fully and proudly admit that I just took a relaxing bath and listened to an ASMR video, and it like really distressed me. It's super cool because this is weird. No, it's not. Don't be embarrassed, Ashley. Just own it. Okay. So I don't like the regular ASMR videos where they're like just touching things and talking softly. I like them where they're like role play videos where they're like giving you a massage or a head massage or shampooing you or dyeing your hair or doing your makeup or things like that. Because then I like take myself out of like the real world, and I pretend that I'm in that that world where I'm like getting my makeup done, and that's all I think about. And I don't think about all the things I have to do tomorrow, and I don't think about all the things I did today because I have a lot of anxiety and I go over plans constantly. I give myself TMJ and lots of stress, and it's just a big ugh. So anything that can pull me out of constantly worrying and planning is great. And ASMR roleplay videos just pull me out of that. I'm like, I'm at a doctor's office getting my ears checked. Or like, somebody is dyeing my hair and massaging my scalp right now. And then like you hear it in one ear and in the other ear, because it's cool, because a lot of them have really fancy mics, and if you listen to it in headphones, it's nice. So anyway, it pulls me out of all my stressors and makes me like pretend I'm in this other situation, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, like, an ASMR, like, pretending to, like, give you a Swedish massage isn't as good as an actual Swedish massage, but it still, like, triggers ASMR and is very relaxing. So, anyway, so talking about, this is a kind of a hard and weird video for me to make, but it's important, I think, so I'm gonna make it. So I'm gonna talk about, like, calling myself out and listening to your comments and owning up to your comments and things like that. So, a long time ago, well, here, I'll start with this. A few days ago, I was interviewing a really good friend for a project. I'm not going to name their name, even though it's an awesome experience. It's nothing bad about them or shady at all. It's great, actually. They taught me a lot. I don't even know if they knew they taught me a lot, but they did. But I was interviewing somebody who I really respect, and they said something to me. We were talking about, because it was for a little YouTube. I'll disclose the project. It was for a little YouTube, and we were talking about the imbalance of power between fans and creators. I call them viewers, but like we're just going to use regular vernacular that society and typical people use. So fans and YouTubers, YouTubers and audience members, and that imbalance of power and things like that. And I was asking them to explain what are some of the negative implications of like this imbalance of power and this like imbalanced power dynamic? And they were like, and they were telling me some of the negative implications, and I was like, what does that look like? And they said something that I've done, and that's why I'm calling myself out. And it made me think, and it's hard for me to admit it because I'm making myself vulnerable. I'm like saying I did a bad thing, and I'm going to share it with you. It'd be cool if you yeah, just accepted it and know that I'm like learning because I'm a human. But anyway, so the thing that they said was, they described a lot of like negative implications of the power imbalance. One of the things was obviously the sexual abuse scandal. That was not a thing I did, and like a ton of other things they described. And then they got to something that I did, and they said, like if you spotlight an audience member's comment, and you can do it in a positive way or a negative way, but if you spotlight an audience member's comment, you have to remember that you have a huge following. And they didn't say this, but I inferred it. But basically, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man. And so I wonder if Grace is home. Nope. Anyway, and so they said, so you have to remember that you have a huge following and they don't. It's not going to be a fair fight if you call them out. They also didn't say that, but I implied it too. Basically what they said was, if you call somebody out or if you spotlight someone's comment, you might be putting them in a place that they weren't expecting. Like, they might get hundreds of replies that are like, you shouldn't have said that, that's mean, or that's disrespectful, don't say that. Or sometimes you can't control your audience and your audience gets even saltier, like, hey, don't use, I don't know. You know, your audience just becomes, you call out a hater and then your audience becomes a hater for that hater. And it's not, and they didn't say this, but I implied it, it's not really necessarily a fair, or I inferred it, I didn't imply it, I inferred it. It was implied, and thus I inferred it. It's not really a fair fight, though, because you have this, because there's an imbalanced power, because you have all these followers. Even if they're right, like, it's not going to be a fair fight. Like, and a great example of this is when, like, Joey Graceffa, like, got his car towed, and he was totally in the wrong. He parked illegally, and so someone towed his car, and then he put that person indirectly on blast, and that person got a ton of, like, indirect hate. Like, thankfully it wasn't direct. He didn't know their name. He didn't know their Twitter handle, so he couldn't even have done it directly, but that, in the comments, the person found Joey's video, the person who towed Joey found his video, and the comments were like, that person is just a little bitch, and, like, in, you know, sometimes even worse things and stuff like that. And that person was like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. You parked illegally, and so I towed you. But still, it's not a fair fight online, because Joey has millions of followers and this other person doesn't. They don't have a social media presence. And I did that recently. And I remember, because somebody said something really disrespectful, and I didn't like it. It was mean, and I stand by the fact that it was disrespectful and mean and inappropriate, but it made me so upset, and I talked about it online, and I remember feeling weird talking about it, and I couldn't place why I felt weird. I was like, this feels petty of me, and something feels wrong, but it does upset me. This comment was disrespectful. I'm sensitive. And those are things I still stand by. I do think the comment was disrespectful, and I'm not ashamed that I'm sensitive. But I realized what that gut feeling was that said something's wrong about this, something is like petty or off, or something's wrong, and I placed that. And it was because when I interviewed that person recently, they told me what some of the negative implications of the imbalance of power could look like. And so I placed what was wrong with it, and I placed why it felt off and why it was strange to me. When I called that person out, because they said something disrespectful about my hair, if you guys watch my daily videos, I'm sure you remember, they said something disrespectful about my hair. It was just mean, and I called them out on it, and like, it wasn't a fair fight, because I am in a higher place of power, and I need to recognize that. So yeah, and that's what I couldn't place, but didn't feel wrong to me. And it's not that, and so I kind of am wondering how to navigate that, because, like, so what am I supposed to do then? Just because then there's another, so that person, okay, wait, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the person who gave me the really good advice said, when you spotlight a commenter's comment, they're going to get a ton of attention that they don't expect. And then I was thinking about it in a negative way. It could also go in a positive way. If you spotlight somebody positively and they get a ton of positive attention, maybe they still don't even want it. But I'm thinking of it more in a negative way, because that's, like, a way that applies to me in this one situation that I'm still kind of, like, feeling things about, and that I think I messed up. But yeah, so that person, Jack, oops, I said their name. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. That person who's really smart, they said if you spotlight a commenter's comment and they get a lot of attention, you have to make sure that that's okay, because they might not be expecting all that attention. I think that's really smart. But another person who I also really look up to said something once that kind of contradicts that, sort of, that I also think is really smart. They said, I really respect this person too. I think they're really smart. And they said something once on one of my videos that said they live by this mantra. It was on my political correctness video. And I don't think they totally agreed with me. And they said this. They said, because I remember what you guys comment. It means a lot to me. So they said this. They said, I live by the mantra, do no harm and take no shit. And I really like that. Because if you don't, because it was all about intent versus impact and being, ignorant and bigoted and hateful and things like that. So if you don't do any harm, that's awesome, because you're not doing any harm. But also, you don't have to take any shit. And so I'm imagining the situation where, like, you get a hate comment. Do you have to take that shit? Like, do you have to sit back and take that shit? But also, and so I think, this is what I think I've decided. I'm not sure yet, so I want you to know, I want you to weigh in. I don't think you have to take that shit. I don't think the right way to not take that shit is calling them out online, because you have more power than them. Because the power balance is, because the dynamic is not balanced, because you have more power than them. So I think you don't have to take shit. But this is just what I think. I could be wrong. You don't have to take shit, but the right way to not take shit isn't to call them out online. There are many other ways you could do it. I could just talk to Grace. I could be like, this person said something horrible. They didn't, actually. This is just, I'm not even talking about a specific person now. I'm just talking about a, general hater. A hater. That's such a dumb word. Whatever. But, when it talks about a general, so I'm talking about a general hater, just for reference. The right way to handle it, the right way to take no shit, but also to remember that with great power comes great responsibility, is to do it in a more private manner. Take no shit in a private manner, maybe? So I go to Grace and I'm like, this person was so disrespectful and it's not okay. Or I say it to my friends or things like that, but I don't do it in a place where I'm putting a person on blast online publicly, because that's not cool, even if they did something not cool. But then again, how does that translate to somebody who does something not cool that's, very extremely obviously not cool? So, for example, I'm talking about the situation where somebody said something, kind of mean about my hair. That's, it hurt my feelings, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. And by the way, whoever, if you are watching this video, person, I do apologize. I don't think I handled that in the correct way, and I hope you accept my apology, and if you don't, that's understandable. But I do apologize. I think I messed up, and I'm working on it, and, I learned a lot from the situation, so that was a direct message to you if you're watching. I don't think what you said was very cool, but, I don't think I also handled it the right way, so. But, what was I saying? Oh, okay, so my personal situation that I'm calling myself out on is somebody said something about my hair. But what if somebody says something online that's just, super racist? Or, really homophobic? Then can you put them on blast publicly? No, still, because you still have, it's not a fair fight. But they're just ridiculous. This is hard. Do you see how this is, complex? Maybe some of you are like, no, it's actually really simple. And if you feel that way, please give your wisdom to me in the comments. So yeah, this was kind of a hard video to make because, I had the choice. These were all thoughts I was having in my own brain. And then I had the choice to, share them with you and kind of, call myself out or not. And I'm feeling a little vulnerable and strange because I'm calling myself out. And I did mess up, and I hope you don't, judge me too harshly for that. And you see that I truly, am learning. And your comments stick with me, and I learn from them. So thank you. This is a super long video, but yeah. What do you think? Well, first, yeah, what do you think? How do you handle you having more power? So you have to consider whether or not you spotlight someone's comment, and also the sentiment, do no harm, take no shit. How do you balance those things? And one, do you think this is as hard and complicated as I do? Or is it just super simple and easy to you? I guess I'm looking for a little either validation or explanation. You to be like, yeah, this is complex. Or to be like, no, it's not complex, but here, let me tell you why. And then I'll have like a moment of clarity and be like, oh, you're right. so whatever. Yeah, this was a hard video for me to make. Sorry. Hope you don't see me any differently. Know that I am learning. I do apologize, though, for any moments like that I've had. Hopefully I grow from it. Maybe you learned something from this. I'm having a hard time editing this video just because it's like a hard one for me. But anyway, I'll just end the video. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.